Okay, I'm doing it now. We're set for a battle between the Northern Beaches and Northwest Sydney here on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. Round 23, NPL Men's New South Wales action. Manly United versus Hills United coming up soon. Good, thank you.
shelving and accessories online at www.shelvingshop.com.au or visit the shop and showroom at Unit 7, Number 7, Jubilee Avenue, Warringwood and purchase direct. Contact Scott and his team on 9997 6810. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we can confirm that the lineups for our main game this evening, NPL New South Wales Men's between your Man United FC and Hills United, are now confirmed, and they are as follows. For Hills United, number 1, Ryan Wood. Number 5, Daniel Pekovsky. Number 8, Yarosimikas Petratos. Number 9, Yu Okubo. Number 12, Jordan Lane. Number 13, Cameron Phillip. Number 15, Noah SUVs to fit whatever needs you have. So head down to Brookvale Mazda or go online at brookvalemazda.com.au and find out why Manly United love a bit of zoom zoom. experience within the Northern Beaches, combining a wide range of knowledge and understanding with a local and personal touch. Upstate Real Estate delivers 5-star service with the drive and passion that your property deserves. Featuring our very own Johnny Hall, Upstate has one goal for you: to help you find yourself in a better place. So give Upstate Real Estate a call on 9971 9000 or visit www.upstate.com.au. Upstate Real Estate, proud partners of your Manly United FC. Please welcome the two teams out on the field for NPL New South Wales Men's, Hills United and your Manly United FC. As always, ladies and gentlemen, we will have our mascots joining us here representing
Friday night football, you can't beat it. We're at the home of football on the Northern Beaches, Cromer Park, for what will be an intriguing game between two teams who aren't by any means safe from escaping the bottom two in NPL Men's New South Wales. It's Manly United versus Hills United, and this is Eric Subihano with the commentary from the Lucas Neal stand. While for Manly United, Cromer Park has certainly been a fortress in recent times. 5 wins and a draw from their last 6 home games means that Manly, for now, are thinking more about the safety of mid-table and possibly a top-half finish rather than any thoughts of finishing in the bottom two. But for Hills United, no such thoughts. This month, the month of July, could be a crucial month. In the context of the Hills United season, they've got this game against Manly and followed that up with home games against Sutherland, Spirit and St George FC, all teams around Hills in the league table. July could be the month that sees them thinking of a second season in NPL Men's New South Wales, or it could be the month that sees them more at risk of dropping back down to League One Men's. We see the two captains, Kieran Paul and Thomas Muller, two very experienced players going through the final pre-match formalities. So let's take you through the two starting lineups. And for once I've done something approaching research, so we think both teams will line up in a 4-3-3. For the hosts, Hills United. In goal, number 1, Levi Kay. 4 at the back, from left to right, number 25, Rokopele. Number 19, Alan Aganovic. Number 4, Jesse Perez. And number 2, Manly skipper, Kieran Paul. 3 in midfield, number 45, Bilal Belkadi. Number 8, Joe Fox. And number 12, Miguel Balta. And the 3 up front, number 7, Peter Kakaris. Number 9, Ben Coop. And number 39, Stefano Rossello. While for Hills United, in goal for them, number 1, Ryan Wood. The 4 at the back, from left to right, number 12, Jordan Lane. Number 5, Daniel Petkovsky. Number 15, Luke Casserly. And number 22, Byron Ginn. 3 in midfield, number 26, Thomas Mako. Number 16, Lachlan Sepping. And number 27, the captain, Thomas Muller. And the 3 up front, number 8, Yerosimakis Petratos. We'll just call him Maki from now on. And number 9, Yua Kubo. And number 13, Cameron Phil. We're just about ready to get it underway. There's the whistle from the referee, Adrian Arndt. And, yep, away we go. The first game in round 23 of NPL Men's New South Wales for the 2024 season. This will certainly be a crucial one for both the team from the Northern Beaches and the men of the Hills. Looking at the table, Manly United in 10th place on 26 points. Hills United entering this one. Hills just above the bottom two by the very smallest of margins, goal difference only. They are in 14th on 18 points. Along with, I believe, Sutherland and the Sydney FC Academy. With the Central Coast Mariners Academy just behind those trio of teams on 15 points. And Spirit and St George FC not too far ahead of them. So, yes, the run into the season, the business end of the season, as we like to call it, will certainly be well worth watching. Quick shout out to the third team, the match officials. In the center with the whistle is Adrian Arndt. The assistant on the side nearest to us is Alana Zick. The assistant on the far side is Blake Sanchez Cruz. And tonight's fourth official is Matt Staples. And I think it was an early run from centre back by Daniel Petkovsky. But it's marshalled by Hills. And in fact, the touch off the men in the yellow jerseys out for a goal kick. So if you're a cycling fan, you'd be well used to seeing plenty of shots of yellow jerseys in the month of July. And if you are, we certainly hope you're enjoying the Tour de France, but it's yellow jerseys of the NPL Men's New South Wales variety this season. Hills United in their traditional colours of the yellow and the white, while Manly United, as Balfour spins well out of trouble, in their traditional kits. I think we call that royal blue shirts and shorts with the white socks. Balfour can score a spectacular goal. We saw that 14 days ago when Balfour clinched it really for Manly United up against Central Coast Mariners with his allegedly weaker right foot first time from the edge of the box. Didn't look too weak on that occasion. It's a hop that will off the turf, which ends up favouring Hills. Now Kieran Paul has the scramble and gets there ahead of the visitors and their pressure. Touch off Balfour. Coop back to Belkadi, and now Balfour again. Little scoop, and Joe Fox flicks it over his head. Rossello gets the touch, and Petkovsky Daniel Petkovsky, of course, so much NPL men's New South Wales experience for the Hills United number 5. We're still kind of getting used, although he's been pretty much ever present for Hills since joining from Rockdale. We're still kind of getting used to seeing him at the back for Hills as opposed to at the back for Rockdale, but Petkovsky, well worth it. From a Hills United perspective, he's been a great signing. As that's a Kubo, has one runner out wide, which is Maki Petrados. Pires blocks the cross, and Pires finding Paul. That goes out over the sideline. The two sets of substitutes, while we got a bit of time for Manly, the backup keeper is Anthony Carreras. The others are Zach Svilagoy, Saxon Hillier, Connor Rose, Blake Bumbershay, and Ollie Burden. And I'll do the Hills bench in just a moment, but here's Maki Petrados out over the sideline. Yep, so the Hills bench, their backup keeper is William Lucas. The others, Kaya Acton is, and then it's a very attacking bench because these remaining 4 players, all with plenty of attacking quality. Jamal Belcardi, yes, Bilal's brother, Anthony Frangi, Thomas Lopez, and Dimi Petrados. I think he's Mackey's brother from memory. Balthel. And Paul going back to Pires. Now, there's Paul again, this time forwards. Cassily's header. Works for Belcardi, but both teams having a little bit of trouble, especially in the middle third, getting it to sit for them, but it's a bit calmer now with Jesse Pires. Of course, shout out to the 2 head coaches, and by the way, this evening, these 2 head coaches, what a couple of players these 2 were, by the way, because for Manly United, as always, it's leading things in the dugout. It's Central Coast Mariners legend, and also, by the way, the man who led Hills United to the NPL 2 Men's Championship in 2019. That is, of course, Patrick Zvansvik, while for Hills United, in the dugout for them is former Socceroo Luke Cassily. Goes out. Now I've just realized, the first error of the game. First of many. Apologies to all the viewers out there. Of course, in central defence for Hills, therefore, that is Noah Cassily, not Luke. I did talk up his defensive abilities, but Luke very much coached these days. Got to remind myself, Noah is the number 15 for Hills United. Plenty of goals in the under-20s game. Just before this one, a 5-goal thriller that went the way of the home side. Hills United winning by 3-2, and the man who scored 2 of those Manly United goals, Ollie Burden, on the bench for the hosts this evening. Sam Griffiths with the other goal for the under-20s, and from memory, Sam Griffiths very, very far away from the maximum age, if that makes sense, in under-20s. I think he's still 17 years old, if memory serves me correctly, so well done for Sam for playing up in age and actually making an impact for the Manly under-20 side. First corner kick of the evening coming up, and Kakaris will take it. Presumably, it's an in-swinger. And there's 3 Manly players right in front of Ryan Wood to crowd him. Flat delivery, and at the near post, Adrian Arndt is not willing to make a decision despite bodies hitting the synthetic turf, and will go on. Back into the blender, and Hills having a little bit of trouble in this phase of play, getting the ball away from danger before eventually they're able to settle the ball. Okubo won fairly, according to the referee, by Joe Fox. Now Kakaris, and of course Kakaris, lightning fast, Manly's top scorer for the season with 6, 5 in the league and 1 in the cup. And Hills, very smart defensive work, getting onto Kakaris as quickly as they possibly could, not wanting to let Manly's speedster turn. Now, I mentioned Hills United's next 4 games, including this one, as the visitors start to press for Manly United. That schedule, after this game, they have Western Sydney Wanderers away from home on Bastille Day, Sunday the 14th of July. It's a Sunday afternoon kickoff because, let's just say, the Wanderers aren't allowed to play their home games at night anymore. After that, we're back here for Friday Night Football on the 19th. Manly hosting Marconi, as his possibly a chance for Coop, and then the cutback does not find the player in the middle. Hills United getting it out of the danger area. But yes, after Friday night football on the 19th, Manly versus Marconi here at Cromer Park. And it's another home game to finish off the month for the team from the Northern Beaches on Friday the 26th of July. This could be a very big one. Manly United hosting Sutherland Sharks. By the way, I know that there's a small number of you out there that are fans of my commentary, so if you are, well, we're lucky enough to have the next month's worth of commentary assignments sorted, so if you wish to listen to my voice on a Friday night because you think that's the best possible thing to do with your time, firstly, thank you, but secondly, mark the 26th of July in your diary because I will be calling that game between Manly and Sutherland Sharks. Could call it the Battle of the Beaches, and I've got 3 weeks to think of more names for such a clash. Belcardi outnumbered and loses the ball. It's Mackie Petrados, and Petrados does get the cross in, so after all that, it's going to be a Hills United corner. Actually, I think about it, I've been at Cromer Park a lot this season for both men's and women's games. I am very much a Western Sydney soul. Somehow, I am still one of the closest callers to Cromer Park. It's just one of those things. Corner kick coming up. And Kay, that is a good punch, but trying to return it with interest was Thomas Muller. Couldn't get it past the crowd of blue jerseys. Jordan Lane. Intercepted by Ben Coop. Now Baltha. The switch could be on. Instead, that's a wonderful reverse pass, and Coop is quick enough to keep it in play. Great vision from the Spaniard. Kakaris charging into the middle. Coop improves the position, and then played behind for a corner kick. So clean tackle in the end from Petkovsky. But how about the pass from Miguel Baltha? Vision like Dr. Manhattan. Because I think a few of us, especially a few people in the Lucas Neal stand here, saw that the switch left could have been on, but instead he saw Coop's run and kind of fooled the Hills United defence both with his eyes and with the body shape. Now, flag kick coming up for the hosts. Baltha aiming at the far post. Wood, for a moment, ends up on the synthetic turf, and that is in fact enough to win a free kick. A few of those who are familiar with my commentary know that I do like checking my group chats during games, as that's Pele on the far side, or the far post side, as I like to call it here at Cromer Park. That decision has gone the way of Hills. Shout out to one of my friends doing NBL 1 basketball commentary, and thoughts and prayers, because he's mentioned his tattoo on the call, and his mum is watching, so he could be in a bit of trouble. Of course, I'm much smarter than my basketball calling friend, because I've got so many tattoos that my mother has just given up. Actually, one of my fellow commentators, because of my large amount of body art, they call me the most expensive body in NPL New South Wales. Anyway, call comes in, and touch off Manly. Corner for Hills. I mean, there's no way I can have the most tattoos in NPL New South Wales. I mean, have you seen Travis Major from Blacktown City? Yeah. Or even Jess Frampton from Bankstown City. Corner for Hills. Kay is up and catches in traffic well. Throw. That's an excellent throw right in front of Kakaris. The kind of passes he likes. Rossello looking for support, but Kakaris did not hold the ball long enough for the possibility, or the through ball, to Rossello to become a realistic option. Now Muller for Hills. Belcardi charging forward. Nice run. There's a very enterprising midfielder. Belcardi always takes the initiative. He was stopped by a nice tackle from Jordan Lane, two former Central Coast Mariners Academy players going head-to-head for a little moment there. And I suppose Kieran Paul, technically not Central Coast Mariners Academy, at least in what we know, how we know them these days, the team that plays in NPL, but Kieran Paul did play for the Central Coast Mariners youth setup once upon a time, back in the days of the full home and away NYL season, where the NYL teams went interstate. Mako got out of the cul-de-sac well. Now Mackie Petrados as Adrian Arndt plays advantage. Has a few options. Back to Petrados. Free player in the middle is Mako. Now Muller. Out wide. And the first time ball. Now there's a shot which goes across the box and then a header from Muller, who wouldn't have been expecting that ball to break his way. He reacted quickly enough to head it. Ball goes wide. Now Manly building from the back with the short passes, and Hills moving into the box. They got numbers here, so it was a very necessary tackle from Aganovic to stop a close range shot from Hills. And they'll take it the other way with Kakaris, who wins the throw off Byron Ginn. Now, opens up again for the visitors. And the back heel from Sepping, not really what was required. It ended up being an easier task for Kieran Paul than he might have anticipated. And Kieran Paul is already wide and very high on the right, almost one of the forwards. Kakaris turning back. And he'll settle it. The ball to Roccapello. Baltha. Now Muller to the edge of the box. Muller wants it on the right foot. He shoots. It's blocked. Still with Hills. Clean tackle from Baltha. The playmaker getting back to defend. And now shot comes in and Paul leaps to tip it over the bar. No decision going Manly's way. And Levi K, as he has been pretty much ever since he returned to Manly United after spending time at the Sydney FC Academy, showing his excellent shot-stopping skills. He was Levi K, I think, in the last week's match report for the Sydney Olympic versus Manly United game. Levi K getting quite a bit of praise from his coach, Patrick Zvansvijk, for his goalkeeping abilities. Short corner. And it's delivered. Header. Won by Hills. And after all that, it is a goal kick. .5 minutes played. NPL Men's New South Wales action for your Friday night. Round 23 on the Northern Beaches. It's at Manly United 0, Hills United 0. Up. Petkovsky. Well, almost gets in a bit of a tangle with a teammate. And Valda cannot quite take advantage. That's a throw-in. Okay, my apologies, everyone. I've made a mistake with, whoops. I don't know what I've done there. So must have read the wrong part of my notes, or even the notes for another game, because I did say at the, right at the start of the game that the assistant nearest to us was Alana Zik. Well, I've got that horribly, horribly wrong, because that is, in fact, Jackson Mackey, who's AR1 for this evening. So apologies to both Jackson and Alana. Have no idea how anyone could make such a mistake, but I'll get it right from now on. Pele to Kakaris. And Kakaris jumps over a challenge and, well, he'll retrieve the ball before Hills could secure it. Actually, no, it's gone out, but so it'll be a Manly attacking throw-in instead. The commentator group chat, always lively on a Friday night. I see that the People's Champion, Nicholas Kutniak, who will be in action tomorrow night from Penshurst Park, calling St. George City versus Sydney FC, 15 p.m. kickoff that. Nicholas Kutniak, the man, if not something to behold if you've ever seen him call a NPL men's game, the man who brings practically his own studio with him. And he's bought quite a bit of tape from Bunnings. Hills play it down in back play. We'll go on with Belcardi, and he shoots from way out. Safe hands from Ryan Wood. Now, well, that's it. Adrian Arndt now. Apologies, just going to check on that play. It's Nikolai Muller. You can just tell by the orange armband. Muller is back up to his feet, moving a little bit gingerly, but this will be an uncontested drop ball. So, yeah, anyway, uncontested drop ball. And we're back in action. Neat flick pass from Aganovic to Pele. And Joe Fox picks up a pocket of space, as does Rossello. And there's the options out wide, but Rossello breaks for Kieran Paul. Now Baltha has the right boot. It's good enough to win a corner. Shout out to long-time Football New South Wales reporter Justin Davies for tuning in. As Baltha, it's too much bend on that from a Manly perspective into the side netting. As Justin Davies, I believe he will be enjoying my commentary, if that's the right word, on Sunday afternoon. I'll be at Harry Denning Centre in Sutherland Shire for the League One Women's Match of the Round, the featured game from the women's second tier. What a game that is. Sutherland Strikers versus the PNFC as that goes out. And by the way, those of you who have known me for a while, followed me through social media, I think you'll know exactly why I, in fact, pretty much begged Football New South Wales to call that game. And my favourite player in the whole wide world, Tori Tumeth, now a Sutherland Strikers player. And so I just had to call that game. And I'm glad Football New South Wales had the tolerance for all my begging. As Noah Casserly goes back to Ryan Wood. Wood, flat one, and stepping off the chest. Actually worked out nicely for Lane, but Lane couldn't match that with the ball down the line. He was aiming for Yu Okubo. Fox has time to turn. Now Rossello with the pressure immediately coming from Casserly. He was looking to break, and there's blue jerseys scrambling back. Results in a Hills throw. They get on with it quickly. Here's Cameron Philp. Now, here's a move. Pires has to scramble, and off the outside of his right boot, he gets it away to the most temporary of safety because the crossing opportunity still there. But actually, yes, will result in another crossing opportunity as Hills United win a corner kick. Now, in-swinger to the near post and headed away at the near post by Paul. Sepping, he drives towards goal. Blocked by 2 Manly defenders. Sepping might have another chance. Good quick feed. Now, room here possibly, and Kay's got to be quick enough. A little parry, and then he makes sure that the ball doesn't cross the line. Now Kieran Paul, near side. Got a great view of the action in the Lucas Neal stand. The stand, of course, named after one of this club's and one of this area's favourite sons, the former Socceroo captain. Who played junior football in the area. If memory serves me correctly, that would have been with Wakehurst, a club not too far away from here, obviously. And then played representative football for, wasn't called Manly United at the time, one of Manly United's predecessors. And then went all the way to the highest levels of football that we have in this country, and overseas as well, of course. Joe Fox. Rossello, one-time pass, and I think that's Roccopella overlapping. He takes on a player and wins a free kick, so say you'd call this an attacking set piece. Let's see what a Manly have in store. I might just kind of drip feed you the other streams you can watch here on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. So I've mentioned St George City versus Sydney FC already, 7:15 p.m. tomorrow, called by the People's Champion Nicholas Kutniak. But the action tomorrow starts at 5:30 p.m. from our beloved Arctic Circle in Macquarie Park. Northwest Sydney Spirit versus Rockdale Illingdon, called by Pretty Boy Alexander Molchanov. Why is he called Pretty Boy? If you'd ever met him, you'd understand. Switch to Baltha. Double up on Baltha immediately, which is definitely a smart tactic. Baltha winning a throw-in off his fellow number 12, Jordan Lane. Also tomorrow, 7 p.m. kickoff from Illingdon Sports Centre, home of some lovely kabapi rolls. Let's hope they remember to provide Ivar as well this time, unlike the last time I was there. But anyway, 7 p.m. tomorrow, Illingdon Sports Centre, St George FC versus Western Sydney Wanderers. As Belcardi might have a chance here. He's crowded out. Kieran Paul slices it high and wide. Oh, and by the way, that game tomorrow at 7 p.m. from Illingdon, St George FC versus Western Sydney Wanderers, called by one of the rising stars of the Football New South Wales media team. He calls games brilliantly. He writes great articles. Dominic Crenidi, the multitasking king. I don't know how he finds the time to do everything that he does. Also works for SEN somehow, and it all fits into his schedule somehow. Well, looks like Ryan Wood will go for distance. That's a lot of distance. Great goal kick. Pires left high and ends up tangled. There's a little bit of shenanigans between him and Uwakubo. Adrian Arndt quickly on the scene to snuff out or stop things escalating. Lane restarts with a throw to Maki Petrados. And it's a throw in further up on that side of the field. Now into the box and swiftly away as Noah Casserly, nice touch, and then Byron Ginn. Ginn is providing the supporting run. Pele, nice interception from Rocco Pele. A great signing he's been. This is his first full season with Manly United, Rocco Pele. And signed initially, I think he moved over to the Northern Beaches in last year's mid-season registration window. He was previously with Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Started the season with the 20s, but his performances as this cross is whipped in, and there's a chance and a goal for Hills United. The visitors have opened the scoring. They've planted their flag here on the Beaches. It's a great finish An acrobatic volley. Manly United 0, Hills United 1. It could be vital in the context of their season. They need points. They need as many as they can get. Looks like Iwakubo as the player with the technique to finish across from, let's face it, it was a very awkward height. He's done so, and the visitors are in front. Is confirmed by, so watch the stream in front of me. It's a little bit delayed. Of course, the usual delays of streaming, delayed by about 20 to 30 seconds. And yes, the graphics confirming what I saw. Iwakubo, the number 9 for Hills United, with his 9th of the season. And could be critical for the men from the Hills. There's Levi K helping to play out from the back. He's pulled off some nice saves tonight, but from that close range, nothing he could do about that shot from Yu Okubo. Lane gets it up and forward. A little off the heel, I think, from Muller. Kakaris towards Baltha, who secures the ball briefly, but Lachlan Sepping, such a fierce competitor. I've seen that previously. I think most they remember him at Bulls FC Academy. He, somewhat surprisingly, given a man of his talents and reputation, was most recently at Nepean FC in League One Men's before making the switch recently to Hills United. But, Hills United signing a player from Nepean FC? Anyway. And they're on the move again, and could be a chance, but the contact wasn't, I think, what Mackie Petranos wanted. Goes wide, but Hills United look in the mood as we pass the half-hour mark here. And Manly, I talked about how they've got some breathing room between themselves and the bottom two. Well, a result like this could reduce said breathing room. 8 games for most of the teams in this competition. 8 games remaining in the season, including this round. A lot of time for things to change on the table. Sepping. Clean tackle by Rossello. He's got 2 options, but Hills have the numbers, at least for now. And Kakaris wins the 50-50. He loves cutting inside onto his right foot. There's a strong tackle. But then Belcardi, will go on. Advantage. Kieran Paul. Now Baltha into the box. Can't get past 2 players. And it's up and away for Hills. Danger over from a Hills perspective. Perhaps if I may, I'll expand a little bit on that reference. Hills United signing players from Nepean FC. I won't explain it fully now, but if you ever meet me, I will happily tell you about how they created their women's first grade team. Anyway. It's worked out well for Hills. As I be more serious, the Hills United women's team in their 3rd season as a League One women's outfit. They've reached the last 2 grand finals, and they're well in the mix for the promotion race from League One women's to the top tier NPL Women's New South Wales. That'll be a great contest between Hills and Mount Druitt Town Rangers over the remaining 8 rounds. SD Raiders certainly not out of the running as well, so plenty of action still to go in the women's 2nd tier. And the And I referenced earlier Justin Davies, who is tuning in, will be covering that for you with his articles for the Football New South Wales League's socials. Now, overlapping run, and the cross blocked by Pele. Now, Baltha and Kakaris, but there's a lot of yellow jerseys back. They work it right to Paul. And then it's Rossello. Inside to Belcardi. Baltha flicks it over two defenders, but the organization from Hills good in that part of the field, so goes back to Pele. Kakaris fires it to Rossello, and possibly a chance. Bowser shoots. Isolated shots for a penalty, and Baltha will stay on the ground, so we'll have a brief stoppage just to make sure that the Spaniard is okay. Very hard tackle, but it seemed to be a clean one. But it has left Manly's number 12 a bit sore. Also, shout out to the voice of Central Coast football, Pete Pryor. I believe he's shooting in as well. Pete, if, and this is a big if Plume Park is playable on Sunday, he will be calling the game between Central Coast Mariners and Marconi Stallions. 3 p.m. a Sunday from Plume Park. If it's playable. It's been a wet old winter, that's for sure. As Balsa gets treatment from the physio. Yes, the other Sunday games that you can watch on the Football New South Wales YouTube page for NPL Men's in New South Wales around 23. So the two other games at 3 p.m. on Sunday. It's Sydney United 58 versus Blacktown City. That'll be called by another one of our rising stars in the media team, William Constantinidis. So yes, Sydney United versus Blacktown City, or as I like to put it, a great Western Sydney footballing institution travels to play Sydney United. Also at 3 p.m. on Sunday, it's Wollongong Wolves versus Sydney Olympic, and that'll be called by Dublin Dave Feeney. He'll be travelling down to Wynn Stadium to call that one. And then at 5:30 p.m. on Sunday, RPL Leichhardt versus Sutherland Sharks from the newly resurfaced Lambert Park. And actually it does remind me, as I research various other Football New South Wales competitions, shout out to RPL Leichhardt coach Franco Parisi. Because we all know him, what a great player he was, but he's still playing local football for the RPL Leichhardt local association team, the over 35s team in the Canterbury Association, and they've made the State Cup final. So well done to Franco, and also the other name I recognised, former Western Sydney Wanderers player Adam DePuzzo is also part of that RPL Leichhardt over 35s team. And yes, the State Cup finals, by the way, it's in my head because they'll be at this venue next weekend, Saturday the 13th and Sunday the 14th of July at Cromer Park. They're using both synthetic fields here for, I think, shall we say, the first of the Football New South Wales knockout competitions solely for association teams. Because, of course, there is champion and champions later in the year after all the local seasons are done. Now, Kieran Paul. Baltha. Pass is blocked. Rossello tries to keep it alive. Petkovsky under pressure and finds the sideline. Justin Davies likes the jokes. Likes the jokes that in all probability only he and I will understand. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about commentary. Who needs more than two people to understand a joke? Not me. Here's Kieran Paul. Keeps it alive, low into the middle. Clean challenge. Now Aganovic lifts it towards Belcardi. He's got to hurry. Maki Petranos making it up from him. I'm just trying to think if Bilal Belcardi were at Mariners Academy, was at Mariners Academy at the same time as Maki Petrados. Perhaps their paths just missed. I feel like they've been on opposite sides of the youth F3 derby at some point a couple of years ago. And after Maki Petrados had moved to the Jets Academy. Nice touch from Rossello. Hills, yep, they've got the 1-goal lead. And they're certainly testing Manly's precision with the short passing and the touches in tight areas. There's the clearance there. Apparently I'm doing more shout-outs than a big Twitch streamer, I say. I mean, any mention of Twitch streaming just reminds me of William Constantinidis, because from memory, that's how he got his start in the Football New South Wales commentary team. Before that, he was a Twitch streamer. At my age, I barely understand what Twitch is, but as that tackle is clean, and Hills get it away with Sepping before Belcardi is pinged for that. Now let's see the body language. Actually, I was wondering if there's going to be a card. Hills just want to get on with it, and then unfortunate loss of footing there right in front of the far post, and the patrons watching there. It was the right idea from Hills to get on with it and do it quickly, but that's one of those things. More shout-outs than a big Twitch streamer. I mean, there was a simpler way to say that. More shout-outs than Nicholas Kutniak. But anyway. On the left side, as Manly see things, now Aganovic switching the point of the attack to the captain. And half-time nearly upon us. Hills United holding on to that 1-goal lead, courtesy of a fine strike from Yu Okubo. As Paul gets the touch on it to find Baltha, he's looking for the options. Baltha cutting onto the left foot, still has it. Look at all those shirts in the way. But he shoots anyway, and it was absolutely smashed at Ryan Wood. But he showed hands just like the Hills United women's first-grade goalkeeper, Sarah Easthope, who really took the sting out of that with the gloves, and it ended up being pretty comfortable for the visitors. Bele. Aganovic, and Belcardi bounces it back to Jesse Pires. Forward Rossello looking to be the target forward, and Hills, I think it would Muller at least slow it down, but Rossello room to turn, and quite a few options with him. Can't pick the pass. Petkovsky timed his move out of the back line nicely, and Petkovsky is part of a 5-player Hills attack. It goes left to Akubo, and he shoots, blocked by Jesse Pires. Certainly a wholehearted defender. I remember Jesse Pires playing first grade some years ago for North Shore Mariners in the old NPL 2 days. Jesse Pires always a defender willing to get his body in the way. Also, I haven't been to Northbridge Oval in like 5 years, which is somewhat unlikely because, of course, we do have regular games there with the Bulls FC Academy women's team in NPL women's, as that is a cross that will eventually go out. Oh, it's going to be a corner throw in right by the corner flag. But yeah, actually haven't been to Northbridge Oval in over 5 years, and bizarre given how few commentators live in the northern half of Sydney that I have not been sent there yet. Forward Coop this time, looking to hold it up before the Manly players bring into play. And Pires. Baltha drifting out to the near side. Chops it, gets past Lane for a moment. Lane sticking to the task though. Now Aganovic. Now Fox to Pele. Now Kakaris. Kakaris, plenty of opponents in front of him. Manly looks like it's a game of patience for them as they look to level the scores. Is there something just before halftime? Baltha. The 1-2, it's broken up, and Muller leading the charge as Ben Coop tracks back. It's a lovely tackle, and now, 4 in front of him, he dinks it. Petkovski's in the way. That will definitely not be the last defensive header Daniel Petkovski has to perform this evening. Pires is a good effort, a good lunge, but couldn't direct it towards his teammate, Kieran Paul. Let me just drip feed the games for you a little bit more because, of course, there's NPL women's action for you, and I'll start that by shouting out tomorrow night's game from the very cold North Tarahumara Recreation Area. 6:30 p.m. kickoff between Northern Tigers and RPL Leichhardt, a rematch of the Sapphire Cup final from last year. And RPL Leichhardt on the short rest after playing on Wednesday night a 0-0 draw in awful rainy conditions against Sydney Olympic at Lambert Park. Fox with the diagonal towards Paul. Paul gets past the player into the box. Now Baltha, and off the outside of the boot. And perhaps he was looking for something off the inside of the boot. And Kakaris, look how quick he is. He almost kept that one in play. But yes, tomorrow, 6:30 p.m., NPL Women's from North Tarahumara. Northern Tigers versus RPL Leichhardt, called by Interlions under-20 superstar Annabelle Banfield, who is loving those Saturday games because she can call a game on the Saturday and then play for Interlions on the Sunday. And Annabelle Banfield, not quite my favorite Interlions player of all time, but she's pretty close. There's another in-joke for you, Justin. Now, Matt Staples has signaled a minute of time added on to end the opening period. And I think probably off shot, but just in front of us, the youngsters from ABH United, the recently amalgamated club, local club here in the Northern Beaches, amalgamation between Manly Alambi and Beacon Hill United, which is getting a bit complicated because from memory, Manly Alambi is itself the result of an amalgamation of 2 other clubs. But anyway, yes, ABH United, kids from there, they walked out with the Manly first graders before the game started, and now they're going to have a little game at halftime on the field. That's the kind of stuff we love to see in NPL games, the connection with the local youth, as that's a lovely tackle from Jesse Pires, and that ends the opening period. It's looking great for the men of the Hills. They lead Manly United by 1-0 as the teams head to the dressing sheds. Uwakubo, with his 9th of the season, has made the difference. That's what splits the two teams. This is Eric Subihano on the mic from the Lucas Neal stand. We'll take a break of about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll be back for the second half. Welcome back to Football New South Wales coverage of NPL Men's New South Wales. The second half of Manly United versus Hills United is about to get underway, and this could be a massive 45 minutes for both teams. Hills United currently a goal to the good, courtesy of a lovely strike from Yu Okubo, set up, I think, by Maki Petrados. It has the men of the Hills in a very, very nice position, but there's still plenty of work to do. And Manly United is so strong at home, and the team that has scored a fair few late goals this year. The men from the Northern Beaches will have a lot to say before this one's over. Now, looks like the two teams will be as they were to begin the contest, as I've seen no activity, no board work from tonight's fourth official, Matthew Staples. So I might just remind you of the lineups for both teams, as Adrian Arndt blows the whistle and the second half is underway. Muller plays it forward. And now Belair, the header, falls for Kakaris. And then that's broken up by Maki Petrados. Okubo. Nice work to keep it away from two defenders and Belcardi as well. Petrados. Okubo. And now he waits for Byron Ginn. Now he will be quick enough to keep it in play. So Ginn, cut back to Okubo. He's involved again. Maki Petrados. And then, that's an unfortunate one for Byron Ginn. Didn't get back onside. Now, yes, the lineups out there. Firstly, for Manly United in goal. Number 1, Levi Kay. 4 at the back, so from left to right. Number 25, Rocco Pele. Number 19, Alan Aganovic. Number 4, Jesse Pires. And number 2, the captain, Kieran Paul. The 3 in midfield, number 45, number 45, Bilal Belcardi. Number 8, Joe Fox. And number 12, Miguel Baltha. And the 3 up front, number 39, Stefano Rossello. He's at centre forward. He's flanked by number... He's flanked by number 9, Ben Coop, and number 7, Peter Kakaris, although potentially might be no substitutions, but a bit of a change in approach, a bit of a formation change up front. I'll take a look at how Manly and Patrick Svanzak have decided to do things in the second half. For Hills, in goal for them, number 1, Ryan Wood. 4 at the back from left to right, number 12, Jordan May. Number 5, Daniel Petkovsky. Number 15, Noah Castley. And number 22, Byron Ginn. 3 in midfield, number 26, Thomas Mako. Number 27, Nikolai Muller. And number 16, Lachlan Sepping. And the 3 up front, number 9, Yu Okubo at centre forward, flanked by number 13, Cameron Philp. And number 8, Maki Petrados. K. That's forward, and that'll be over Paul. So I don't think Petkovsky can afford to try and let that run out of play, so he goes down the line. Muller drives forward for a brief moment. And they wanted a throw in, and they will not get the decision. Instead, the decision goes the way of the visitors. Good to know at least one person's listening to me as I was telling the story of one of our local clubs, ABH United, a result of an amalgamation between Manly Lambie and Beacon Hill. Manly Lambie also being the result of a previous amalgamation, and Justin Davies saying more amalgamations than Sydney local councils. Ah, yes. It's funny because it's true. Great first touch from Baltha. Paul with a supporting run. Now the ball to Rossello, edge of the box, but he's been forced backwards. Baltha again. Belcardi tries to spin out of trouble. Instead, it's Lane who has the ball. Then Baltha gets in the way of Lane's attempted pass to Sepping. Wow, that's a nice header. Belcardi in the box wins the corner kick. Manly have been good with corner kicks. It was at about this time of the game, weekends ago against Central Coast Mariners, that Rocapelle scored. Actually, it was also from a corner kick from the right, an in-swinging corner from the right, no less. So obviously all eyes on him. Alan Naganovic, pretty good in the air. So is Jesse Perez. Hills United certainly have to be on high alert for this one. And just before Bowser whips it in, we always have this at least once a game where the referee is unhappy with the goings on in the 6-yard box at a corner. Always happens. Now, take 2 for this particular corner kick. It's aimed near post, and the flick, would have been up for grabs. And Hills instead go for safety, and it's lashed into the Lucas Neal stand. Now Pele to Kakaris. Aganovic. Pierce back to Aganovic. Aganovic scored against Hills United back in round 8. Hills United defeating Manly 2-1 at Landers Stadium. And how Northern Beaches folk would love him to repeat that feat this evening. Baltha drifting out wide. Rossello bounces it back. Now Fox, first time pass, could be a chance. Here's Kieran Paul, and now the header. It was all the way across to the middle, and touch off Hills, played behind, I think, by Byron Ginn. Another Manly corner. Meanwhile, in the commentator group chat, Nicholas Kutniak being roasted for allegedly wearing the same jumper every day this winter. That is certainly not something I can judge people for, so I'll leave you all to it. Kakaris with the flag kick this time. Decent ball, and it's a touch off Manly. Nearly worked out for the far post runner. And the decision, despite Hills United disbelief, is Manly's 5th corner of the game. Everyone back for Hills. Sepping and one other player on the edge of the box hoping to break for Hills. But first this set piece, it's low and helped on and behind. So I slowly go through the weekend streams here on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. There's some unusual kickoff times for NPL women's games to be played on Sunday. Already mentioned tomorrow night's game between Northern Tigers and RPL Leichhardt. But we have a women's kickoff Sunday, 1:05 p.m. at Linwood Park, where the 2-time defending champions, MacArthur Rams, and their incredibly good-looking coach, Stephen Peters. The Rams are hosting Emerging Jets. And also at 1:45 p.m., at least for now, although keep an eye on the competition's website in case there's late changes. Our schedule for Sunday has a 1:45 women's kickoff between Football New South Wales Institute and Manly United at Valentine Sports Park. Now, that is because there's, for Jets and Institute, there have been a lot of postponements. We have the Girls' National Youth Championships this week down at the home of the Matildas in Melbourne. And actually, I've seen that a couple of Manly United players are playing in that tournament. So, big congratulations to Mackenzie Jeffs and Taylor Wilmot. While on the boys' tournament, which I believe is next week in Wollongong, also big congratulations to Miles Milliner, Ben Mooney, and Sock McGee. But anyway, Institute and Jets, as you'd expect, lots of players called up for the National Youth Championships. So they've had lots of postponements in the Girls' Youth League age grades. Hence, I think that's why those 2 particular first grade games are being played earlier. As Philp breaks for Petranos, and now Petranos has room and options. He goes for the early ball, which Pires almost backheels to safety. Now, Jordan Lane. And now this is a good chance for Jordan Lane. Cuts it back. Petranos. The cutback was cut too far back. It was behind him. Peter Kakaris had to watch out over his shoulder as Byron Ginn has somehow fashioned a decent crossing opportunity. It's in, and here's the shot. It's 2-0. Yuakubo has scored again. Byron Ginn rewarded for persistence. He got the better of two players, whipped it in. Yuakubo had the space, and he's now in double figures for the season. And Hills United looking great to start their weekend with 3 points. It is Manly United 0, Hills United 2. I haven't seen much in an attacking sense from the Hills United fullbacks this evening, although they've certainly done plenty of high-quality defending, but perhaps it's telling right at the start of that move. I was about to call him Imogen Lane. I'm sorry, Jordan. That's Jordan's sister. Jordan Lane made a nice run into the box on the left-hand side. They kept it alive, and Byron Ginn, chasing what might have been a lost cause, he made sure it wasn't, and he set up the goal for Yuakubo. Hills United looking good for their first victory since around 18. And this result, if it stands, still an if at this stage of the game, 55 minutes played, could really spice up the race at the battle at the bottom of NPL Men's New South Wales to escape those bottom two positions. Hills free kick. I was thinking of the way Byron Ginn still thinking of the way Byron Ginn set up that goal for Okubo. Now, long-time watchers of the Hills United men's team will, of course, be familiar with, I think, the usual captain, Glenn Kelshaw, not available this evening. And honestly, that was a run and cross that Glenn Kelshaw would have been proud of. Byron Ginn producing the killer ball into the middle for this man, Yuakubo, who tried to bring it down. It ends up with Levi K. Of course, now I've got to shout out everyone. The Adonis, Will Gotsis. He's tuning in and enjoying his Friday night by watching our beloved NPL Men's New South Wales competition. I hope to hear his voice soon. He called, I believe, Hills United last weekend when Hills, unfortunately, for their perspective, lost 5-0 away to Rockdale Illingdon. But he said he enjoyed his Kabapi role. I'm like, well, that's really the main thing, I feel, as a commentator. You enjoy the hospitality, the food and the beverages. As his Mako, and Mako shoots, it's wide. Okay, I think not bothered enough to dive. So he knew that ball was going wide. Now, of course, this time in the game, in this game situation, I suspect we'll see Hills United substitutes being made very soon. Now, as in fact, it's going to be a sore one, so I think we might see the Hills physio coming on. Possibly for Thomas Mako, I think I see a number 26, but yes, if you look at the Hills bench, okay, Ollie Burden, I think I'd be surprised if I saw him soon, because he, as I said earlier, he played in the reserve grade game between, not reserve grade, the under 20 game between Manly United and Hills United, scoring twice, but look at Connor Rose and Blake Bambashay, very much attacking options. From memory, Connor Rose, if he's not from the Hillshire, he doesn't come from too far away, but you could see Rose or Bambashay. Saxon Hillier could also be an option to play in midfield. And in fact, jogging back, I see Saxon Hillier and Connor Rose. So I think Patrick Zvansvik is about to roll the dice with those two players. Yep, the jackets are coming off. We will see Saxon Hillier and Connor Rose, but also Hills United substitution. Number 20, Thomas Lopez is coming on. And the player, I think that might be Thomas Mako. Yep, so Matt Staples has a 26 on his board. Thomas Lopez replacing Thomas Mako. And that'll be a goal kick. So it's not quite a straight swap. It'll be interesting to see how they change things.
Substitution for Hills United. Making his way from the field is number 26, Thomas Marco. And coming onto the field is number 20, Thomas Lopez.
Okay, so Looks like Lopez is possibly is almost a centre forward, at least for this phase of play, but actually, I see what's happening. Looks like, from the way they've set up for this goal kick, Thomas Lopez at centre forward, Yor Kubo out to the right wing, Cam Philp to the left wing, and Maki Petrados is the most advanced of the midfield three. So Petrados just in front of Muller and Lachlan Sepping. And Matt Staples, you've got to keep busy as Rosello tries the back heel. Kakaris couldn't reach it. Now Petrados. Here's Lopez. Oh, sorry, that's a Cooper, my bad. This is Maki Petrados. Akubo helps it and gets the ball back. Akubo could assist the hat trick, and it's deflected behind by Aganovic. Corner kick. Manly chasing the game, of course, but everyone back for the first job. Defend this set piece as Petrados delivers, and who's it break for? It breaks for Hills, and Cam Philp sends the ball wide. Double substitution coming up. Saxon Hillier replaces Benjamin Coop. And Connor Rose replaces Rocco Pele. So, okay. This will result in a change of approach. Now, just remembered that I did speculate about a change of approach at halftime from Manly, and then never properly expanded on that. So, might as well start again with figuring out this formation. The first bit is Kieran Paul now at left back, and Bilal Belkadi at right back. So I think, yeah, Paul and Belkadi, the Manly fullbacks now. And, well, they've all got to get back as it's opened up for Petrados. And Petrados onto the right foot. Doesn't get the contact required to beat Levi K. Looks like that Manly midfield might be this man, Miguel Baltha, Joe Fox, and Saxon Hillier. And then three up front will be Connor Rose, Stefano Rosello, and Peter Kakaris. A very quick front three. And a new test, a new challenge facing Hills United. And they certainly have a lot to hold on to with this 2-goal lead, courtesy of two well-taken goals from Yu Akubo. Shepherded out for a goal kick there. Of course, the beauty of Football New South Wales YouTube streaming, as if you've missed any of the action, you can just click a little bit further back on your stream and watch it. I hope, we're looking off frame, I think Thomas Mako is okay. It's almost like he's holding his shoulder. So, of course, it's good to see the Hills United president, Tristan Rimmer, checking up on his welfare. But, Mako, I mean, certainly, I imagine it's not like a dislocation or anything. Otherwise, I mean, he would look a lot less comfortable, Thomas Mako. But he's feeling very sore, and I think no risk taken by Luke Casserly. Hillier. Marcelo back to Hillier, who's immediately was almost boxed in. Backwards was the only option, and now Aganovic goes all the way back to K. Belkadi, nice pass with the outside of the foot to Baltha. And Baltha wants it on his left boot, and he was fouled by Lachlan Sepping. So a bit of left footer crime there, and a Manly set piece coming up. Baltha, with all the tall timber in front of him, both for Manly and Hills, he contemplates what he'll do with the dead ball. Flat ball, headed away. Hillier. Now Kakaris. Hillier returns it to Kakaris. And Kakaris exchanging passes. Now the in-swinger to the back post comes Connor Rose. Here's a chance, and Aganovic couldn't turn it goalwards. It was a nice header from Rose. He knew the angle was tight. He played it back into the middle, and that's a big chance for the hosts. Hills survive, still leading by 2-0. Manly going backwards. Aganovich in the center circle, but even he is showing more forward impetus. Good turn from Rossello. Now Kakaris will keep this in. First time cross to the back post once again, and it's all Hills there. Well, there's a kind of more sideways than forwards clearance. And look, even Aganovich, look how far forward he is. There's Kieran Paul in central midfield for the time being. For Lane, breaks that up. And that's a nice ball to Okubo. Pires with the scissor kick, nicely worked to Aganovich. Aganovich, he had the early run from Rose, goes for the simpler ball, and tackle from Byron Ginn. Hillier, closed down by Sepping. Now Sepping again, but then Joe Fox. And back up at Hills, like they're really buzzing, of course, as you'd expect with a 2-goal lead away from home. Decent first touch there, and Jordan Lane charging forward. Now, how's this going to work out for Hills? Lane is eased out of the way. It's a goal kick. Let's see. Let's move slowly through upcoming streams. So what am I up to? Ah, yes, the NPL women's games at the more, shall we say, the more standard time slots on Sunday at 5 p.m. It's the match of the round, Sydney Olympic versus Northwest Sydney Spirits. Well, assuming Peter Moorfield isn't washed out. It's a big if, I suppose, given the weather we've had. But if that goes ahead, it is Sunday 5 p.m. on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. Sydney Olympic versus Northwest Sydney Spirit. And if it's a women's match of the round, you know almost certainly it'll be called by the Serbian Martin Tyler, Nikola Pozder, man who's been covering that competition for over a decade and has done a fantastic job both with writing and commentary. Then at, well, it's a bit odd, but I mean, it's a normal kickoff time for Gladesville Ravens, so to speak. I'll hold that thought as Aganovich is battling with Okubo. And Maki Petrados wins the corner of Kieran Paul. But yes, at the shall we say, the normal Ravens kickoff time of 5:10 p.m. Sunday, Gladesville Ravens hosting Bulls FC Academy from the Arctic Circle, called by the Professor Melissa Muscat. The signal from Petrados. Aims far post and touch off Hills, but nothing that goes goalwards. And Rossello plays it over the sideline. Now, Hills, of course, with this. Hills taking their time with the 2-0 lead, and the flag is up. Flag is up from Jackson Mackey. He's caught that Hills player offside. Header from Lane. Muller under pressure. Shields the ball from two players. Now Lane once again. He's bombing forward down the wing. Doesn't link up with a teammate. And Connor Rose, who's the bounce favourable. Petkovsky taking no chances. And to round off my thoughts on this weekend's NPL women's action, there's two late games. There's two women's games Sunday at 7 p.m. as the characteristic drizzle of the last 2 months. I think that's slow falling over Cromer Park. But yeah, two NPL women's games, 7 p.m. Sunday. Firstly from the field lovingly known as the Postage Stamp at Valentine Sports Park, field number 3. It's Sydney University versus Blacktown Spartans, called by Kate Orman of A-League Women Commentary fame will be at Valentine Sports Park for that one. Sydney Uni. They knocked one of my friends' teams out of the Sapphire Cup. Then they knocked my employer out of the Sapphire Cup. Yeah, thanks, Sydney Uni. Anyway, Kieran Paul with a switch, and Belcardi leaves it for Baltha. Baltha to the far post. Harris gets there, and the touch centrally cleared by Noah Castley. The other 7 p.m. women's kick, so 7 p.m. NPL women's kickoff on Sunday from Ian McLennan Field. As Illawarra Stingrays host University of New South Wales, UNSW. Well, here's Rossello. It opens up, and it's fumbled. Who does it break for? Hills scramble it out of the box. Okubo now defensive position and eventually cleared. Well, it could have been a tricky one for Ryan Wood as the folks in the lower echelons of the Lucas Neal stand scramble for higher ground and some cover from the rain that's suddenly sprung out of nowhere. Like this has been very common in the Greater Sydney area for the last 6 to 8 weeks. Baltha first touch towards Belcardi. Baltha again, and then tackled. Sepping, first time. Makubo. There's 2 options with him. He drives towards the middle. Now across the box. Now, chance maybe for Hills. And Belcardi got their first body on the line. He's won the free kick. Now, another double substitution coming up for Manly United. Number 22, Blake Bumbershea. And number 3, Zach Svilagoy will come on. So making way, it's number 8, Joe Fox. Number 12, Miguel Baltha is the other player making way. So, let's see. More kind of swapping around of players. So, Zach Svilagoy has gone to central defence. Jesse Peary is now in midfield. Blake Bumbershea wide on the right. I think that was the role that Miguel Baltha was playing in the second half. So that's more of a straight swap. Of course, Pearce now in midfield because the role, filling the hole left by Joe Fox after his withdrawal. Rose with the pass, and Hillier stopped on the edge of the box. Played over the sideline. Nice. Good to see Joe Fox playing back at Manly United. He was a previous stint at Manly United before going to Northern Tigers, back at Manly for this year. Although he has also for a while been the head of MWFA Youth in a coaching role at Cromer Park. So in a sense, he never left Cromer Park. As it's dug in to the far post and gets away from Bumbershea. That cross from Kieran Paul, goal kick. So Wood has aimed everyone forward, but I think they might make a second substitution. Some Hills players have come back, some substitutes come back after their warm-ups. Svilagoy lets that run out for a throw-in, goes back to Kay. And Kay diagonal towards Paul, but there's Byron Ginn. He got his foot in there and will go on with Akubo. Tackled by Pires. Now Mackie Petrados. And Petrados, he's kept it in now. Well, Pires has got to be careful here. It wakes for Nikolai Muller. Actually, I've just realised I've been calling him Thomas Muller all game. Oh, Jesus. I know I've got a few of my friends watching. Did one of you want to tell me that? Whoops. Oh, well. I've done dumber things in Football New South Wales commentary. The Euros are on. That's why I was thinking of high-level European footballers. I'm sorry, Nikolai. Not quite as bad as my Alana Zik Jackson Mackey mistake, but not great either. I wonder if any of those mess ups will make the highlights. Ooh, I'll have to wait. I'll have to wait and see. Let's see. So look at the Hills technical area. Try and keep an eye on that, while also watching this Hills latest attack, but it's stopped by Pires. The jacket's off for Anthony Frangi, and in fact saw one, I think, for Lopez, the player, the one substitute Hills have made so far. So Hills physio going to be coming on, and honestly, probably, I mean, assuming Thomas Lopez is fine, these breaks in momentum will suit Hills United just fine, as they are the ones defending the 2-goal lead.
We will be hosting Marconi, so make sure you keep joining us here in 2 weeks. Manly United versus Marconi.
Boo to Marconi.
And actually off my... Let's see. So Thomas Lopez off the field. He's got to wait till he's signaled back on by Adrian Art. Yep, there's back on. So Hill's not down to 10 plays for any significant length of time. And just between the technical areas, I see legendary Northern Beaches football photographer Jeremy Denham is in position. He's actually, we were chatting before the game, he's actually taking photos for Football New South Wales today. Nice for him to land at that gig. And meanwhile, Anthony Frangi waits to be let onto the field. Everything's going Hills United's way at the moment. If you've just joined us, Hills United leading Manly by 2-0. Goals in the 28th and 55th minute from Yu Okubo. He's now in double figures for the season. And they are getting closer to a priceless 3 points. That will take him a bit further away from the bottom two. Kakeris chases this one, followed by Noah Casserly. That reminds me of another mistake I made when I called him Luke. Whoops. All right, Hills United are going to be they're going to make a double substitution. So number 11, Anthony Frangi, and number 77, Dimi Petrados. So two attackers with fresh legs. And nice and positive, I think, from Luke Castley, the coach. Now Mackie Petrados, I think, one of the players making way. And the other player to be withdrawn is number 22. Is it Byron Ginn, the other player? Yeah. Yes, he's already off. Let's see.
On with that, making his way from the field is number 8. Yes, that's Petratos. They come out to the field.
Now, I wonder, looking at the players out there.
Number 20, Thomas Lopez.
Cameron Philp has gone to right back, filling the gap left by Byron Ginn. So now, He'll still have Thomas Muller. Oh dear, here we go again. They still have Nikolai Muller and Lachlan Sepping in central midfield. And I think Anthony Frangi in the number 10 role. You got Yuakuba wide on the right. Thomas Lopez. He's had a few knocks, but he's still at centre forward. And then Dimi Petrados, number 77, wide on the left. As that this decision from Adrian Art earns the ire of the visiting bench. Manly, of course, can't afford to waste a second, but Hills wouldn't mind the ball going backwards from that situation. All Hills players behind the ball. It's been like that for large parts of the game, especially since Hills took the lead. And Manly, it's a familiar challenge, one they haven't quite yet cracked as of yet. Pires, and he goes from range, and Ryan Wood, a spectator. And the ball sails about a yard or so wide of that post. Now, I can see a Hills player having some, I think, Byron Ginn, I think, is having some cramps stretched out. Had a great game, of course, capped off by that assist for the second goal. Put Hills United in such a commanding position. Some tough sledding out there for Hills this evening, as it has been all season. They've certainly been good value in their first men's top-tier season. Of course, for Hills, it started on the opening day, and they shocked Sydney Olympic at Belmore Sports Ground. Hills also did the double over Sydney Olympic this season. And Hills about 10 minutes plus stoppages away from their 7th league win of the season. Bambouche trying to win the ball off Nikolai Muller. Now Hillier flying into a challenge, and another challenge goes over the sideline, and Hills, you suspect they're very much in game management mode. Take every chance, all of their set pieces to take whatever sting there is out of the game. Stop Manly creating any attacking momentum. Goes back to Cameron Phil. Down the line. Breaks for Okubo. And Okubo gets past two players for Svilagoy. Well, Svilagoy got his foot in there, but it's going to go back for a free kick. And I wonder, if Okubo ever fancied himself as a dead ball taker. Well, actually, he doesn't. He's walking away from the scene of the free kick, but of course, he's on a hat-trick, so if he had any dead ball aspirations, surely he'd be heading to the scene here. Instead, looks like it'll either be the right foot of Anthony Frangi or the left foot of Lachlan Sepping. And I'll take it a bit quickly, not quickly enough for Manly to be caught unawares. Frangi again loops it over Connor Rose. Muller can't find a teammate. Diagonal from Svilagoy. Was missed by Phil, but now he's got to hurry. Kakaris takes a tumble. It'll be a Manly throw. Now the ball towards Hillier, and Hillier might have a shooting chance here. Parried by Wood. And he falls on the ball. Nice strike from Hillier, who can hit them with both left foot and right foot. Wood has done enough, and he's hanging on to that clean sheet for now. And Hills, like I said, they're in game management mode, but when the chance presents itself like now, they're certainly going for it. And Okubo with a slightly more accurate ball would have been in for a chance at his hat-trick. It goes over the byline. Petkovsky booms it forward. That's a great header from Svilagoy. Bambouche tries to bring it down. Muller takes it off him. Now, Ryan Wood goes into opposition territory. Anticipated by Aganovich, but it goes out for a Hills throw. Now, more jackets coming off, so Jamal Belcardi is about to enter into the fray. So we'll have two Belcardis on the field for a few minutes. Bambashe up against Lane. Belcardi. Belcardi won't give up on anything, but he has given away a free kick. This might be, by the way, that foul from Bilal might be the chance for Jamal Belcardi to enter the field. Jamal Belcardi will replace Yu Akubo, who is tonight's hero for Hills. He will not complete his hat-trick, but two very valuable goals as Hills United almost all the way to their 7th win of the season in the league. Pires towards Kieran Paul. I think that's Jamal Belcardi immediately tracking back to defend against the Manly skipper. Can't find Rosello, but's loose. And Connor Rose now. Kieran Paul. He couldn't get the loose ball. He will chase after this. It's a throw-in. And it's pretty much kitchen sink time for Manly. Shouts to get up, I think, from Daniel Petkovsky. Not wanting to minimize the room that Manly have on the ball. Now, Rosello shows for the possession and gets it. Kakaris is a runner more centrally. And Kakaris back to Hillier. Now Kakaris again. And Kakaris has won the free kick as that ball is not caught by a spectator in the Lucas Neal stand. If ever Manly needed an accurate set piece, it is now. One in the wall. I think that's Jamal Belcardi. And Kakaris looking for a compatriot in a blue jersey. Wait for the whistle. And he delivers, and it needs a punch from Ryan Wood. And that was a great punch from Ryan Wood. A punch Katie Taylor would have been proud of. Now Hills have plenty of players forward. Now, well, the ball is not what any of those three players required.
Public service announcement. Anyone who is not a participant or a ball retriever for Manly United, please vacate yourself from the field. And that includes the three people at the back behind the goal on the southern end of the field. If you're not a participant in the game,
One of those great NPL traditions. Random kids making their way onto the field. Anyway. Now it works its way to Bambashe, and he shoots. Shoots over. A presentable chance. As Manly are throwing everything at this one, trying to make it interesting late on. Bambashe with the shot off target.
once again, very quickly, the three non-participants in the corner of the southern corner of the field. If you could please remove yourself from the field.
I'm not a parent, of course, but from my observations of watching other people try to tell the kids what to do, yeah, it's a familiar one for the parents out there. Kids just not listening. Also, thanks to Justin Davies for noticing that I was getting Nikolai Muller's name wrong all night, and they just not doing anything about it. Thanks for leaving me hanging there. I'll get my revenge on Sunday. Don't you worry, Justin. Now 3-on-2 possibly for Hills. And now the ball to Jamal Belcardi, but the flag's up. The flag's up from Jackson Mackey. And that won't count. Oh, you're going to cop it. Leave it for letting me do that for about 75 minutes of a game. You're going to get it on Sunday, Justin Davies. I've got content for you. Don't you worry about that. Because, of course, it's his fault, not mine, obviously. Now, another Hills attack. And it's Nikolai Muller. but he can't find a teammate. So Aganovic, and it's getting stretched, which is not necessarily what Hills want. And the team looking to hold on to the 2-goal lead. Kakaris now wins a free kick. And there's a little bit of afters, but Adrian Arndt, it's not been that kind of game. It's been game played in good spirits, largely devoid of ill feeling. And I think Adrian Arndt, like all match officials, would prefer that it stays that way. As we sort out this set piece, so just perhaps one final shout out, because I did meet Christina Chipman, one of the Manly United's parent of Jasper, who's in the youth setup and is actually progressed all the way to the under-20s, I believe, this evening. But apparently they are both big fans of my commentary. So well done to the Chipman family. They're very intelligent, clearly. As Kakaris delivers a touch off Hill's corner kick. By the way, just a shout out to today's camera operator, Joshua, who clearly has much better cold tolerance for the cold than I do. He's wearing shorts and I'm wearing so many layers. Hillier delivers, and, not gathered cleanly by Wood. It's away. There's the board. Some fourth official holding a board of some description. That's Matthew Staples, signaling a minimum of 3 minutes time added on. Oh, apparently, like, Thomas Muller is so legendary that when I said Thomas Muller instead of Nikolai Muller, apparently, like, none of my friends noticed, so, oh well. So I'm not the only one, clearly. Now, ball down the line, it walks the tightrope and stays in play. Blue jersey scrambling back. Dimi Petrados. And now Hills, they couldn't work a key ball into the middle, and that's a heavy one. So it's a Manly free kick. There's probably not enough time for Manly to score twice, but you never know. Goal difference could matter at the end of the season. Touch off Hills, Petkovsky. Well, Ryan Wood wanted to deal with it, but Petkovsky has decided safety first. He's aimed for the far post. Doesn't quite get there. Hits the advertising boards. Kakaris, perhaps running at the defense for one last time. In swinger, and that's out of reach for everybody from Manly United. Hills will be glad for the goal kick. So anyway, at this late stage of the game, looks like the men of the Hillshire are showing the people from the Northern Beaches how it's done, just like my day job. And shout out to everyone who understands that reference. Kakaris. Going to find a blue jersey. Now Aganovic. And as I look at the stopwatch, we're almost done. In fact, that's it. It's a massive, massive 3 points for the men of the Hills. Hills United have come to the Northern Beaches on a Friday night and earned 3 valuable points, defeating Manly United by 2-0. Uakubo scored in the 28th minute to open proceedings for the team in yellow with a nice finish from a Maki Petranos cross, and then doubled his delight, making it 2-0 on the 55th minute with a wonderful assist from Byron Ginn. We hope you stick around for the rest of the weekend's content on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. 3 NPL men's games tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. from the Arctic Circle. Northwest Sydney Spirit versus Rockdale Illinden, called by the Russian Simon Hill, Alexander Molchanov. 7 p.m. tomorrow, St George FC versus Western Sydney Wanderers, called by Dominic Cranidi. And 7:15 p.m. St George City versus Sydney FC, called by the People's Champion Nicholas Kutniak. 4 NPL men's games on Sunday. 3 of them are at 3 p.m, so that'd be Sydney United versus Blacktown City, called by William Constantinides. Wollongong Wolves versus Sydney Olympic, called by Island's own Dave Feeney. And Central Coast Mariners versus Marconi Stallions, called by the voice of Central Coast football, Pete Pryor, if Plume Park is playable. And then at 5:30 p.m. on Sunday, RPL Leichhardt versus Sutherland Sharks from Lambert Park. But this is Eric Subihano signing off for the Football New South Wales YouTube page on behalf of our State Federation and today's camera operator. Thanks for your support of our 2024 streams. Have a great weekend, stay warm, have plenty of good vibes, great coffee, sick tattoos, razzlers, and may your long journeys to the Northern Beaches be as successful as Hills United's were this evening. See you next time.